We've been in a crisis in the United States for hundreds of years over discrimination, inequality, social justice. And obviously, as you know well, it's come to the fore yet again. And it's one of those things that, with great humility, for many years, I've been asking myself, as somebody who focuses on ethics, what's it going to take? But can you talk a little bit about how these issues of discrimination, inequality, and social justice intersect with food? And also, just more broadly, how you see this particular juncture and this what's it going to take question?
We know that food and hunger, one of the factors that drive hunger is poverty, lack of access to income. And we also know that if I'm just thinking about businesses in the food system, very few of those are operated by or owned by and driving jobs for and economic investment in the Black community. Why? Because people aren't interested, but because most Black businesses can't access the capital to grow business. And whether that's a food business, a restaurant, a food preparation facility, or a product development facility. You don't have actors in the space because of lack of access to capital and the other resources that are necessary to support the development of business. And so we lack the capacity to create the intergenerational wealth that has been the hallmark of the United States. In that every parent knew that if I invested and I worked, my child would do better than me. That hasn't been true in the Black community because of lack of access to capital, lack of access to the opportunity to own your own home, the challenges of our criminal justice system and what that has done to the incarceration of Black men in the community and the effect that has on economic opportunity, prosperity, and the development of financial resources. And so and you ask, what will it take? What makes me excited about this time when people stand in the street and say Black Lives Matter is that it's not just Black people standing in the street. Lives matter. Because we've always talked about, and then I grew up in a family where the motto was pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And the reality is many people don't have bootstraps. And unless you have people who control those bootstraps saying Black Lives Matter, we're going to invest differently. We're going to provide capital differently. We're going to address the issues and witness the challenges of a police system that is inequitably implemented across our cities. Then you don't get change. But we're now seeing different voices. And we're even more, as importantly, not just are the voices differently, it's not just young people standing together. You have the corporate operators, you have billionaires, you have investors, and seeing equity investors saying that they are not investing in companies that are not working to create economic opportunity for Black people across the country. It's a different ballgame. And
I agree with you that it's very exciting. And first of all, just on the investor side of things, I think it's incredible how quickly it has gone from a real focus on, for example, fossil fuels and arms into other areas that affect everyone, like guns, for example, and now into this issue of discrimination and social justice and inequality. And my plea to everybody who's doing a lot of talking is, let's do some acting now. This comes down to the decision making. This comes down to, are you willing to make some tough decisions in order to sort of follow through? Because it's the people that you mentioned at the end that have the power and that have the capital to make a difference, to circle back to your very first point about capital allocation. Let me